Hello, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys what I do every day. Without fail, my warm up, my go-to, and then whatever else I have going on with yoga challenges or what I want to practice on, I just throw in. But these are the things that I do without fail every day. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my block and I'm going to lay on it. I'm going to place it on my lower back. So I'm going to press it up just to my tailbone. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay down over the top of it. And from here I just breathe. Those nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Because this helps the body relax. And when the body is relaxed, when the muscles are relaxed, that's when they open up. If I'm holding my breath and really tense, it's not going to do any good. My body's not going to open. So just breathe. I try to hold this pose for 30 seconds, at least. And then I would come up and I'm going to take it and I'm going to flip it on its medium side. And I'm going to place it in between my shoulder blades up more towards my upper back. And this time I'm going to do cactus arms. The same, those nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. And I'm going to hold this for, I would at least 30 seconds. This feels incredible for opening up that upper back. And then with nice engagement of my stomach, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. At first, this didn't always feel that great, but as I got used to it and my back opened up more, it feels wonderful now. So done with the block, I'm going to set it over here. Then I'm going to take my wheel. Kind of the same concept. I'm going to get it so that it's in between my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to roll on it. My back kind of snap, crackles, and pops as I do this. Just a few times. And then I'm going to drop into it. And I'm going to grab it with my hands up above my head. And again, I'm going to be here and I'm just going to breathe in and out through my nose, those nice deep breaths. And again, I would hold this pose for at least 30 seconds. And then I would go ahead and slowly come up and out of it and set this off to the side. Then I'm going to finish my upper body. To start, I'm going to go ahead and take my strap and unwind it, holding on to the metal end just for safety reasons. And I'm going to make a nice big V with my arms. And then I'm going to bring this up as I inhale, bringing it around, dropping it behind the back, exhaling here. Inhaling as I come up. And exhaling as I come down. Breathing in. Breathing in. This is another one. Oh my gosh, if you have not done this, it is just gonna blow your mind. We hold so much tension in our upper body through here from our day-to-day lives that this just really, and again, at first this was kind of hard for me to do, and now it's much more fluid. And I do this, I try to do it 15 times each direction, because I really want, and I typically go a little bit faster. I focus on my breath at first, just to slow it down, and then about halfway through I'll speed it up, and then I just warm up my shoulders more. And you want to be mindful that you're not flaring your ribs too much. Go ahead and keep them tucked in and down so you're not putting extra pressure on your stomach. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. I'm going to come back to it, but for now I'm just going to keep it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a side bend, up and over. Being mindful to not let this side lift up, just to get my arm to touch the ground. You want to keep your sit bone and your knee of the raised arm towards the floor. Always breathing those nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. Holding for about 15 seconds, and then I'll open up through the chest. Still trying to breathe those nice deep breaths, even though it gets a little hard in this particular pose. Holding for about 15 seconds. Coming up. Shake it out, other side. Again, being mindful to keep this side of my body pressed towards, my left side of the body pressed towards the ground. And then opening up. And coming up. And I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to place it behind my back, in the middle of my back, fingertips or flat hand, and have the arm pressed up against your back. You don't want it like a kickstand out towards the back. You want it nice and snug towards the body. Opposite hand to the opposite knee, and then I'm going to gently twist. All of these poses I try to hold for about 15 seconds. So then we're going to come to the opposite side. And come back to center. I'm going to grab my strap again. And I'm going to hold on to all of the loose ends here. I'm going to make that wide V again, and I'm just going to turn. Really trying to get movement through my whole upper body, through my chest, rib cage, and waist. Setting that down once again. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch the way that my legs are crossed. Finishing up our arm stretches here, we're going to go ahead and come into eagle arms. So bringing those arms out into that wide T, bringing the right arm under the left. You can do palm, back of the hand to back of the hand, or palm to palm. From here, you're going to drop those shoulders down while also trying to press those elbows up and slightly press the arms forward. The goal isn't to straighten them, but if you just actively press forward with the arms, it just adds a little bit more of a stretch. then releasing. We'll do that the other side, this time left arm under the right. Bringing it up. If the shoulders creep up, dropping them down while also lifting the elbows up, pressing that arm out just subtly. Breathing those nice deep breaths. And releasing. You can use the strap for this next one if you need to. We're going to do cow face arms. So we're going to bring the right arm up behind the back so that your hand is in between your shoulder blades. If this feels good, you can stay here, or I will take the left hand and bring it behind and clasp. Then from here, if you jutted out your ribs, again, you want to tuck them down and in. And then if you find yourself caving forward, go ahead and press up, sitting nice and tall, and you can use that head to press that arm back. Still breathing those nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then releasing nice and slow. You can shake it out. Other arm, left arm back. Right arm loops around. This is my harder side. I can still clasp, but it definitely feels tighter. That's for sure. Getting that alignment back in place. And breathing. It's harder for me to breathe deep breaths here because I can feel it in my right arm, not my left, it's my right arm where I can feel it, that tension. But I still breathe through it and then go ahead and release. Okay, then from here, I'm going to move that off to the side just for a second. I thought I needed it, but not yet. We're going to go ahead and just lean forward. Making sure to try and keep both of your sit bones pressed back and down. You don't want to lift up off the mat. For me, I feel this in my IT band predominantly on my left side. And then walk back up and I'll switch. I'm doing it again. Then this time I feel it in the right side more. Then I'll come back up, bringing the soles of the feet together, tucking them in nice and tight first. I hold on under my feet and then press those knees down, and then I'll lean forward from the hips, from the pelvis, not from my upper back. Nice flat back. Again, trying to keep both sit bones on the mat, not letting them raise up as you lean forward. And then I'll go ahead and open it up a little bit, my diamond. And then still hinging from the hips with the flat back, I'll go ahead and lean forward. Breathing those nice deep breaths. And then walking forward. Now I'll grab my strap and I'm going to keep my left leg tucked in, and I'm going to loop the strap around the ball of my right foot and extend it nice and long. I don't necessarily need the strap, but I like to hold on to it with my left hand just to add a little bit of leverage, and then I can reach with my right hand. Again, try not to round too much from the upper back, flat back hinging from the hips. This one I'm going to hold a little longer, probably closer to 30 seconds, because I have very, very tight hamstrings. And then release. Switching sides. Holding onto the strap with my right hand, I'll go ahead and reach forward with the left hand. Again, trying to hinge with that flat back. This is my tighter side, so it's not quite as easy for me to get a full grasp over my toes. I have to come around to the side in order to keep my back flat. But play around with that. If I just kind of round from my back, I kind of lose the stretch that I need, because I'm doing this to loosen those muscles, those hamstring muscles. So I don't want to cheat myself just to make my ego feel better about being able to come down further, right? Side's so much tighter. Okay. We're still going to keep the strap nearby because we are going to need it again, but we're going to move on to legs. So I'm going to take my foam roller and I'm going to roll my quads. It's a little bit of an ab workout too. I do it about 15 times. Just to help loosen them up a little bit before I get into some quad stretches. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do it on my hamstrings. Rolling my mat and I'm rolling away. Again, about 15 times. And then that's all I need this for, so I'm going to set it over here. I'm going to fix my mat because the roller, wanted to just roll it away apparently. Then I'm going to come back to the mat and do a little bit of whole body work here. I'm going to come into all fours. You want your wrists above your shoulders and your knees above your hips. And we're going to do cat-cows. So I'm going to breathe in, letting the chest open through the shoulders, and I'm releasing the stomach. I'm not pressing it out. I'm just releasing the muscles because, especially as American women, we spend so much time like sucking that stomach in, right? That's what we're trained to do. So I'm just releasing the muscle. Then, on the exhale, I'm going to start from my tailbone and I'm going to start to round, letting the head and neck relax and release in between the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling. I'll just do this a few times each direction. And then I'll go ahead and do some circular motions. About 5 times each direction. And then some some C shapes where I'm just going to kind of draw my head towards my hips, back through center, other way. Again, maybe about 5 times each direction. Then I'm going to tuck the toes and I'm going to come up into down dog. So for me, home practice, I don't really care what my form looks like at this particular moment. What I'm going to work on is stretching out those calf muscles. So I'm going to press one heel actively towards the ground. And I'll come to a proper down dog in a minute. And switching heels. Still breathing those nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. I'll do it one more time each side. I'm holding for about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to come into proper down dog. Pressing those heels towards the ground, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing this upper body towards the thighs. And I'm going to go ahead and shift forward, coming into plank. Then I'm going to go ahead and hold here. I'm going to press up on my tiptoes, draw those elbows in, slowly lower down. Untuck, do a mini cobra to start. Engaging those legs, tops of the feet pressed into the mat, shoulders rolled back and down. I'm going to go ahead and tuck the toes, press back up, down dog. Coming back into plank, pressing forward on those tiptoes, drawing those elbows in, lower down. Untuck the toes, press up high cobra. Retuck the toes, press back up, down dog. This time I'm going to shift forward and I'm going to come into up dog. Coming back into down dog. Locking my feet, coming into forward fold. I have a slight bend in the knees, again, super tight hamstrings. My chest and stomach are on my thighs, letting my arm, head, and neck relax. And then I'm going to slowly come up to stand, arms up. A little bit of a back bend. Then I'm going to come to the wall. I'm going to do King Arthur's pose. So I'm going to take one of my shins and I'm going to press it all the way up against the wall so that it's from my foot all the way to my knee is pressed up against the wall. Then I'm going to bring my other foot out in front. And I'm going to come up. This is a quad stretch. It's a really deep quad stretch. Breathing nice and deep here. I'll try back bend. see where I'm at. Switching sides. Again, this one I hold for, I try about 15 seconds. Other side, bringing that opposite foot back out. If you have to stay down here and you can still feel that stretch, that's great. You can also use the blocks to come up. This is my tighter side for sure, but I still try. That's about all I can do on that side, but that's okay, I'm working on it. Then I'll go ahead and come out. And I'm gonna grab my strap and I'm gonna come to the wall. I'm gonna bring my butt right up against the wall. I'm gonna swing my legs up. And then I'm gonna loop the strap again around the ball of my foot. So, I'm gonna draw that one foot out. You don't have to have me like super locked, but you want a straight leg. And then you also want to try and make sure that you keep your, whatever leg is pulled away from the wall. So this is my right leg. I'm pressing to keep my sit bone towards the wall. Because I can release the sit bone from the wall and I can get my leg to come out pretty far, right? But again, that's just my ego being like, yay, look at how flexible I am. But I'm not flexible. Make sure you keep that sit bone pressed against the wall and then pull that leg out. Breathing those nice deep breaths. And this one I try to hold for at least 30 seconds, at least. Then I'm going to take the straps in both hands and I'm going to gently cross the leg over the center of the body. You're not looking to come all the way down. Again, you're trying to keep that sit bone as close to the wall as you can, and you're just gently coming over the middle of the body. This is again another IT stretch. Coming back into center. I'm going to take the big toe and I'm going to turn, trying to turn from the ankle as much as I can. I'm going to turn so that the toe's pointed towards the like 10 o'clock if there was a clock. It's a very subtle movement. And then back to center, and then I'm going to turn through the ankle so that the big toe is pointed towards the 2 o'clock if there was a clock up there. Again, very subtle movement. And back into center, and then I'll switch. Again, focusing on keeping that, now my left sit bone pressed up against that wall. Then coming and gently crossing that leg over the center of the body. Breathing those nice deep breaths still. Back into center, and then we're going to gently turn that big toe so that it's pointing at the 2 o'clock. Back to center, and then turn it so that it's pointing at that 10 o'clock. And then back to center. Then I'm going to release the strap, and I'm going to open my legs wide. And then they okay, my sit bone's pulled away from the wall, so I'm going to press them back towards the wall. And then this one I would hold for a minimum of 30 seconds. Breathing those nice deep breaths. This leg work that I've been doing, you kind of get a bonus because your legs are up the wall, and that's really good for, it's a really good restorative pose, and it just is really helpful for relaxation and your heart and all of that good stuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and slowly bring those legs together. From here, I have two poses that I also always do just to keep them in check. One is 8 angle. Let me see how I'm doing today. I've been sick. And then the other is crow. Just so the body doesn't forget, right? So there you have it. This is what I do every day without fail. Well, no, that's not true at all. I'm a mom and life in general, right? So most days I try to make sure that this happens, and my husband is really wonderful and makes sure that I get this as well. So what I should say is that if it is a day that I do get to practice yoga, this is what I do. It feels amazing. My body feels so good. Being almost 17 months postpartum, I've been doing this for several months now, and I wish that I would have been doing it immediately postpartum, because it does. It makes my body feel so much better as a co-sleeping, breastfeeding, just mama that carries a heavy toddler, plays, holds, all that good stuff. It just, all of what I did with the arms in the beginning opens the chest, opens the arm, opens that upper back, and it's just really lovely. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you take a bit, do the whole thing, whatever it is that you do, I hope that you can find something that helps add to your day and just makes your body feel better. So thank you for watching. Take care.